Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
What is up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. Thanks for being patient. Practice ran a little bit over today, so it took me a while to get settled here. I'm your host, JC. Joining me this week is Tommy.
Yeah, if we're known for anything, it's punctuality. So, JC, you got to step it up. I'm kidding. What's up, guys?
We punctual. And we got Mike.
What's up, guys? I'm Big Mike, and I'm too tired to do the rest of my spiel, so 2023 something trains, whatever.
And
Something trains. And now we finally found Mike's shirt.
Yeah.
Big Mike,
2023
2023 something trains.
Yeah. Man.
Orange Cassidy's manager. Something trains.
I must say, I am so happy. Here we go. Hashtag Orange Cassidy 1000. We got take number 2 on this. Let's fucking do it. So. Thank you everyone for joining us. Think it'll be a short show. It just depends how much off topic we get today. But we are going to be recapping WWE FastLane and talk a bit about AEW Dynamite Title Tuesday and NXT Panic Show, because that's essentially what it was.
Hey, Bernsey.
What's up, Bernsey? Yeah. So.
What's up?
Yeah. Not a whole lot on the wrestling news front of it, because really this week was really all the news out there with all the stuff that happened over the weekend. So
yeah.
Quickly do want to mention though that yes, local shows are coming up. Mission Pro and River City Wrestling next weekend in San Antonio. Hybrid Experience running October 27th. BOW November 4th, and RCW again announced the show for November 12th, which is Veterans Day weekend, by the way. So that is at least what's on the horizon thus far for the end of the year. We may find out next weekend if Mission Pro and or Hybrid will be running another show before the end of the year. So we'll wait and see.
I assume Mission Pro will have a December show.
Yeah, they usually have
with their silver bells.
Yeah, because they also did like the toy drive then too. So.
Yeah.
That's right. And Hybrid usually does one too with a little.
They started doing. Yeah, because I think they started working with Salvation Army as well. So.
Yeah, Bernsey, we are right there with you, buddy.
Bernsey,
one hundo
for sure.
You just have to come in with me. Well, let me know when you're there because I got your ticket, so you're in.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's going to charge you double plus interest for that ticket too to pay him back. By the way.
No.
Lies.
I want to charge Angel Blue double to you.
Tommy doesn't know how to charge people for tickets because he's not used to paying to get into shows.
True.
I don't get into that many shows for free.
No, just the big ROH shows and New Japan shows.
That happened one time.
And Royal Rumble floor seats.
More than once. Yeah.
Damn, I forgot that was this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't say shit.
Yeah. I forgot about that already.
You were right there for all that adrenaline in your soul.
I was.
Oh my
God. Dude, greatest press conference of all time. They were so blown.
And I love Cody just enough to admit it, he was trying to tell them, but Jay was. Ooh.
You really think they were drunk, or were they just kind of playing the character part of it?
I don't know.
No.
It's hard to say.
No. Okay.
I think they were drunk.
But...
All right. Man, it was pretty hilarious.
Their intro before they even started talking, you can tell they were way too elated.
Yeah.
About what was going on. So.
Yeah.
Well, let's kind of jump into it and why were Cody and Jey Uso drunk, and that's just because they are the ones that kicked off WWE FastLane this past Saturday. Hell of a show.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was the only match I got wrong. I think we all said the Judgment Day was going to win, but open the show, go for 20 minutes, and Cody and Jey Uso walk away with the WWE Tag Team Championships. Other results, though, LWO ended up teaming with Carlito instead of where did I have it here? LWO teamed with Carlito against Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits to win that match. Io Sky successfully defended her title the Women's Championship in a triple threat match. Cena and LA Knight defeated the Bloodline, and Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura went crazy for nearly a half hour. Last man standing, but Seth Rollins walked away with the victory.
Yeah.
So
It's okay.
And guys, Seth Rollins fell out to something that didn't hurt him. How could they?
Look,
They tried to keep their guys safe.
All I'm saying
horrible.
is if they really wanted to make this real, they'd have let Seth fall and actually break his back.
Right?
The fans.
The Attitude Era would have fallen to his death, and
that's why Mick Foley can
walk. Now that I say that, I shouldn't have said it like that, but you know what I meant.
But look,
I'm all for a crash pad stuff, but that looked like a memory foam mattress.
It was funny, but like,
yeah.
Look, once these guys hurt. Come on.
But Seth was probably like, I could have just let it on the floor. It would have made a difference.
It was one of those matches in the commercial where they throw a bowling ball next to it and it doesn't just knock the pins over there next to it, you know? So,
hey, it's that. Wait, what's that special memory foam that like? Oh man, it doesn't affect the person next to you.
Yeah,
I forget. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
I don't know which one.
Yeah,
but it's that commercial you're talking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
Okay. Is it just me or are fans somehow getting dumber?
Yes.
It's like, okay, we're in this era where fans can admit that it's a show. We know it's predetermined, but because I think I told you guys before. One of my best friends said, "I can't believe I live in an era now where wrestling fans admit it's predetermined, but they still love the action of it and everything." And he said we can make logical arguments for it. He said, "I never thought I'd get there," but now that we're here, it feels like the fans got stupid about something else, and I don't know what else except for literally everything else, like.
I think what it is, I mean, fans being dumber, I mean, younger, dumber, you know. But I think all of it in that situation, obviously landing on a mattress. My thing about it is like, yes, we know predetermined. They're telling a story.
Yeah.
But when you're following the match, like you get immersed in it. You know, you're following along like the fantasy of the story, like much like watching an Avengers movie or a Justice League movie. Yeah. You're following that story. You're caught in that world. Or I'll give you a prime example. Game of Thrones. Mike, did that Starbucks coffee cup take you out of the Game of Thrones world when you saw it in that one episode?
I didn't notice it until everyone posted
it.
I didn't see it in the.
But my thought is like, when with matches going on, and when you realize they landed on a mattress, does that take you out of like, oh yeah, it snaps you out of reality? Like,
no, because I don't know if it does for you. It doesn't for me because we were at WrestleMania 32, right?
That's true.
And I am damn glad that Shane McMahon had a crash pad under the announce table because I don't know if it's just my memory or the vision of it. But that Hell in a Cell looked 10 feet taller than the one Foley.
It totally did. It looked tall.
And we were like, a ways away up like second level club level, and that sucker still looked huge. Yeah, for sure.
So and plus the thing is, you didn't really see that on the match.
Mm-hmm.
Like watching it from us, if you remember when it was live, they just show him getting knocked over.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like a couple seconds later, they go and he's on the ground. So then it's not until someone showed the footage from their phone, right, that we even knew anything about that. And again, I don't care. I don't want him to permanently injure himself. There are enough things that they do that like could still potentially injure them within the context of that match that they try to do as safe as possible. I'm fine with that.
I have an even better example, honestly. Think about the Hell in a Cell that Burnsy just said it and he couldn't again. He says it all the time. You can't fix stupid. But think about the Hell in a Cell now. Like you can find you can even watch the watch along Undertaker Mick Foley did just this past year, talking about it. Them reminiscing about the match and talking about what they were actually going through during the match doesn't kill the believability and the fun of the match for me, because at the same time, Mark Calloway and the Undertaker are not the same person. They're just not. I mean, and I met the Undertaker. I met him, but he legitimately has that aura. He can turn on I'm sure at home, he's Mark Calloway. He's Mark. He's the husband, father, all that good stuff. But whenever he either comes out in all black or rides on a motorcycle, that's the Undertaker. I don't give a damn what his real name is.
Now I just want to imagine him staying in character at home. Sorry, anyways, but like,
but Michelle, like, okay, well, lightning bolt this trash into the garbage. You will rest in peace. Well, before I do that, take the garbage out.
Makes you wonder how the wedding went. So yeah.
Kane outside. Can I come back in yet? No, you still set the kitchen on fire. It was one time.
I was gonna say it's more like, oh, now you're asleep, huh?
Yeah.
If I was a 300-pound opponent, you would sit up immediately. But now that I need you to do something, you can't sit up. You're asleep. Anyways.
You think if the kids get in trouble, he throws them in a coffin as punishment instead of putting them in timeout?
I have to think at some point they get used to it though.
Might have to invest in one of my kids.
The kid watching outside like covered in dirt.
Yeah.
Trying to bury me alive again.
And like Michelle, take her. What? I saw a C on that report card. I did what I thought was necessary.
If you mess around again, Daddy and you are having an inferno match. Yeah.
That's if you get an F.
Yeah. I think, and the part of it is, the live crowd, whoever was taking that video kind of spoiled it for people, but you have to remember, WWE wrestles for the TV cameras, not the people in the audience, and that's really who they're trying to sell it to, because it's a larger audience at home than it is on the arena.
But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just call a spade a spade. Even like in some spots where AEW or go to your coffin. Sorry, Bernie.
Oh jeez.
I would also
about enough.
I would also accept that for Gangrel's family.
That's true.
I almost assumed they did it at the same time how they raised their kids, like they talked about it backstage.
Don't forget to drink all your blood. Yeah.
Again, I don't doubt this.
I hope no one ever clips this show out of context, because god dang.
No, I hope they clip it out of context, please. I don't want to explain why we said what we just said.
It's October. It's Halloween themed. We're fine. So
that's true too.
Yeah.
But no, okay. So even again, let's just call a spade a spade. In some wrestling matches where some stuff is supposed to break, like tables and stuff, so no one will get seriously injured. A lot of promotions do it. Okay. Yeah, guess what? We know that stuff now. It doesn't make it less awesome. And by the way, I think people need to understand this doesn't take away from the risk factor of any of this. These are precautions, not 100% foolproof preventative measures. You can still screw your body up landing on a mattress wrong. Me and my brother know. Don't ask. Anyway, let's just say don't try this at home.
Your brother's dropping an elbow on you.
Let's just say don't try this at home. Well, we didn't get those warnings in time, okay? But we're fine. We grew up semi-normal.
Yeah, if you grew up in the 80s, there were no warnings like that, man.
Yeah, well,
until the late 90s.
I mean, we grew up in the 90s. We just chose to ignore them. Anyway, well, I did. So anyway, but it doesn't lessen the fact, and also, wrestling has so much great stuff that they gotta cut the danger somewhere. Let's trim this back somewhere for all the awesomeness that we get beforehand. So I just it doesn't kill it. It didn't ruin anything for me. I honestly don't care. I'm like, hey, plus it's Shinsuke and Seth Rollins. Who cares? So they put a crash pad out. I bet Seth was like, okay, cool. Can he not kick me anymore? I'm sure everyone who wrestles Walter is like, no, I'll fall from 10 feet. Can he never chop me again? Can we do that instead? I would rather risk the spinal injury.
Seriously.
There's like 2 compilations of Walter chops, and like the gunshot sound that man can make, because it's worse than in those smaller arenas with nowhere near as many people, so you can hear it. And you're just like, that man should have been arrested for attempted murder on multiple occasions.
Like, at the last show, did you miss Rob Love? I would call him Rob Lowe, just like the Rob Love's match at.
You told me about it. Yeah, I missed the chop. Yeah, but you told me about it.
Of all the people that we've seen at Hybrid and RCW, not the one I expected to pull a Gunther chop out.
Hey.
Damn.
What other matches? What other matches stood out from FastLane besides the Last Man Standing? Which
I got to be honest, like they were all solid again, like we've talked about before. And I don't know if it was a hangover from the previous weekend's NXT show and the I was about to call it Dreamland. Jesus,
Wrestle Dream.
Wrestle Dream.
Wrestle Dream.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was solid. I just didn't feel as entertained overall by some of it. Like it felt pretty okay.
It was a much shorter show. There were only 5 matches in the whole card, which I thought was weird for a pay-per-view.
Right.
Well, I mean, WWE is tending to do this now with a lot of these like smaller, like if they're not one of the big shows, they're only going for 3 hours or less.
Right. Yeah, you got to.
5 matches, 6 maybe, and it's honestly though, I'd say this is the best FastLane they've ever had.
Yeah. You know what? Damn it, you ain't wrong.
Yeah. So,
and
definitely, I didn't get to see all the show. It's been a busy week, but I did see Cody and Jey Uso defeating the Judgment Day. And yeah, I don't blame him for being drunk at that press conference. It was a hell of a match, a hell of a way to celebrate.
Yeah.
But now they got to turn around and defend it this coming Monday. You know, so it's weird because I feel like Raw this week got overshadowed by everything that happened on Tuesday, and we'll we'll talk a bit about that too. Yeah. But
Tommy, considering half of the roster was on
there. You're not wrong about that either.
Tommy, any other match stand out to you?
The triple threat for the women's match, Io versus Asuka and Charlotte. A match with Asuka and Charlotte, and neither of them won. I mean, come on, that almost doesn't happen ever.
Well, Charlotte did win, so apparently it's true that Vince is not head of creative anymore. So
I mean, dude, some of the reports about that have been getting crazy. So I don't, and I don't want to say them because I don't know what's true. So I'm waiting to hear. But it's like, but no, and I'm just happy Io's finally getting this push. I'm like, dude, she single-handedly carried Stardom for years. Okay, I can't say single-handedly because like they also have like Mayu and everyone else there, but she's one of their biggest stars for years. And then they're just like, and she was great in NXT. They bring her to the main roster, barely use her until who was that's not in charge of creative anymore? Clearly, Vince. So and now she's finally get to be the star that us pure wrestling fans knew that she is. So, and it's not there's anything wrong with Asuka or Charlotte, but we've kind of seen that 1,000 times. So, but that's what stood out for me because I thought it was a really good match, and I was happy that Io came out with the W.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how did we do on our picks? Mike and Tommy went 3-2, and I went 4-1. The only one missing that was the one we all missed actually was where is it?
Judgment Day.
So
So you were the only one who picked Seth to retain, also, then, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I think I remembered you picking Shinsuke too, and I was surprised that you did. But yeah.
So no, I mean, just because of the way the story was building.
Yeah.
Which also, like I know I think Bully Ray had talked about this, but. Yeah. After the entire storyline being about his injured back, and then all that went through in that match, and then on Raw, like Billy was saying, he wasn't really selling any injury or repercussions to his back. That's honestly why, like, talking about the workhorse that Seth was, and then just the month plus until like it even goes back to the previous show of Shinsuke just destroying his back. I thought it was going to be a thing to give him like a little time off, but just not.
And that's what I thought because I mean, come on, if anyone can carry a championship for a while, it's Nakamura.
Yeah.
Again, did it in Japan. Don't know why he just can't do it in the States. I'm like he's not.
Oh, that seems like a recurring theme. But anyways,
sorry. Am I sounding bitter? I am. But anyway,
just a little bit. Well, let's get into our WrestleCast ratings for this event. 0 to 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember. Mike, we'll start with you. What is your rating for FastLane?
I'm going to go with an unusual number that we usually only get as the average. I'm going to go 4.125.
Okay. Interesting. Tommy, what about you?
4.25. I feel like this was a really solid show. I can't say it was a gotta see show, but I can say it was a good one. And if you did see it, by all means, I think it's a really good one. My Mamma Mia FastLane was. Oh yeah, I saw Burnsy's comment just now.
They were good matches.
Yeah, they were. So yeah, and that's the thing. The show had solid. Plus, LA Knight won, so that's automatically good for me. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can't give a rating on FastLane. I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but
Sure.
we'll run off of that. 4.1875 is our rating for FastLane.
Nice.
Easily the best FastLane we've ever seen, because let's face it, where they were before, somewhere between Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, just didn't
I
make
would say
any sense.
screwing up WrestleMania stories.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, that was the worst.
Whether
Yeah.
it was Fastlane or Roadblock, which I also think is funny because they're opposite ideas, but
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry.
So-
Okay, real quick. As a person who struggle, like the key things about writing is sticking to a theme. When you have those two things right next to each other, I'm like, wait, no, hold on. You can't. Don't do that.
But Tommy, you've watched WWE to know that for the longest time when Vince was in charge, you can't have consistency to writing outside of the one big story, their main storyline, because he just changes everything like at the last minute, and he doesn't. They never think about how many times we're like, this storyline doesn't make sense. If you go back like 2 months to what was going on before.
And that's why it was so hard to watch for years, is because what was I telling someone today? That's why I like some stories and stuff. Maybe it's like if it's lore heavy, it piques my interest because I like a lot of lore, and that's why I'm now a diehard One Piece fan, thanks to Ilmatic Agent for that one, because the lore in that is insanity. But so yeah, that's why
All right. Well, good job to everyone with Fastlane, coming along well. I think WWE's next show is, let me pull it up here, Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel, yeah.
Yep, November 4th.
And they've already set Seth versus Drew for that one.
That is correct. Yeah, so far we're set on that. And then that is pretty much the last show before we get to Survivor Series. So
I want to say one last thing because it just reminded me when you said Crown Jewel. You know how we've talked about with some of our ratings how the crowd can help like your score the way we see it, like the Puerto Rico show, the All In show. I think the same is also true, and why I even went a little bit below 4.25, because that dang Pizza Hut match, and like, look, I know they've done commercials in the show on Raw throughout the years, but this was over the top. And then, like, the Pizza Hut just everywhere for the entire match. And I don't know why Rey Mysterio seems to be the dude that if it's his match, it gets, like, the food sponsorship, like the Cinnamon Toast Crunch at WrestleMania.
It's probably because he's like a walking cartoon for kids.
I guess. But it was just like, oh, do you mind if I have some wrestling with my Pizza Hut ad? Like, that'd be cool.
I would hope he gets a cut of that. I hope he gets a cut of that sponsorship.
I hope so.
Or at least free delivery for a year or something.
Yeah, he gives the money to Dominic, who claims that his dad doesn't love him. So
he puts the pizza money in his commissary. So
there you go.
Dude, I love that story. The reason I love this story so much to this day is because I was like, Dominic legitimately reminds me of all the high school dudes I went to high school with who thought they were so thuggish, especially if they got arrested. I was like, first of all, you were in lockup for one night. Calm the hell down. Your mom picked you up, bro. You were not that hard.
Prison changes a man, dude.
I was gonna say, I love how his story is literally like situations people that went through the same thing.
Dude, get arrested over the weekend, come back like they're the biggest thug. Sit your dumb ass down, fool.
There was no secretary at the desk to let you out, man. Calm down.
Yeah, like for crying out loud. I don't even know. Did you even see inside of the cell? Did you just sit on that bench all night where they have to have you handcuffed so they don't make sure you don't go nowhere? So your mama picked you up. Your mama picked you up, fam. You ain't that hard.
Do you remember the end of Ferris Bueller when they're at the police station and
Charlie
Sheen is the... I don't know what that just popped in my head.
Wait, fun fact, I don't know if you guys ever saw the TV show The Goldbergs. You ever watch that where they
some of it, not consistently.
It's like basically a family takes place in the 80s, and every season they do a themed show where they theme, like one season it was the Goonies, Back to the Future. Well, there was once where they did a Ferris Bueller themed show. You get to that scene, and Charlie Sheen came back and did a cameo. That scene with one of the actresses.
That's awesome!
Go check if you can find that episode. Of the
I'm
Goldbergs,
gonna
go
have to
check it
find
out.
that.
I think it's on Hulu, but yeah, it's such a great episode. Such a great show too. It really takes you back.
Oh, that's too good.
That's hilarious. But yeah, no, dude, I legit knew I didn't know them because like I kind of knew a lot of people in high school, but I wasn't friends with everybody. But I knew some people. Like some people like that were just like, oh my god, dude, calm down.
Yeah.
You hear them talking like, yeah. I was like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if that happened when we went to school, they wouldn't have been allowed to continue to go to school there.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not where we went, or they would keep it quiet. Now, wanted to talk because it wasn't a whole lot to talk about, but then again, the playoffs kind of moved things around. MLB playoffs, of course. TBS is broadcasting the NLDS, and so this forced a Dynamite to move to Tuesday, like a 1 week only AEW Dynamite Title Tuesday.
Yep.
And NXT has to counter with their own Panic show. Like, oh my God, let's throw half the main roster on NXT. That might even be the first time Cena's ever appeared on NXT. I have no idea.
I'm more than positive it is.
Yeah.
It is. Well,
okay.
Yeah, it was, but go ahead.
Yeah. But an interesting thing to come out of this, there were some title changes here and there, things that happened. Are they starting to set up the Rock versus Roman Reigns storyline, though? Because somebody caught a clip of that with Paul Heyman talking to The Rock's daughter with the whole bloodline issue.
There's a thing that was, I don't know how long it's been, but NXT Anonymous, which is kind of similar to, you remember GTV in the Attitude Era?
Yes.
Where it'd be like a random camera like sneaking on people. It's basically that they had done for a while. So that's where that clip supposedly comes from, NXT Anonymous. But
wait, hold on. I just thought of something. Did y'all see the tweet Carmelo Hayes sent to John Cena? He said, hey Cena, when you arrive at the NXT parking lot, let me know. I'll walk you inside so you get in here safely. I love how the NXT parking lot has become practically a character of its own because it's like, dude, you cannot get out there without a fight.
Let me tell you, apparently, because again, the only reason I know anything about NXT is because of the Cultaholic podcast. Because when it turned to 2.0 and we were like, this is dumb, they were like, this is so dumb, it's great. There is apparently like a whole NXT world. Like there was something when Kyle O'Reilly was still there where him and Von Wagner went to like chop wood in the forest and hike. And then there was a story where Braun went fishing at a lake with, I forget which opponent it was. But like there's this whole world. There's a bar that some of them owned that they were going over. There's Chase U. There's like a university on this place. Apparently, like it's like a Disney World map of like all these things in the NXT world. And yes, the parking lot is the most dangerous place in America.
I love how essentially
worse than Compton.
Yeah. Freaking Burnsy, man. I love how essentially the NXT world is essentially like a Kingdom Hearts world where you like go to one area, like the screen goes black, you appear somewhere else. Basically, it should be. Come on, JC, you would love it if NXT is location in Kingdom Hearts 4. Come on.
Only if I get a Keyblade to run through that fucking thing.
Hell yeah! Yeah, I'm totally in. Braun Breaker would be the final boss.
Now that you say this, my thoughts are immediately: somebody needs to draw that theme park map. Like somebody needs to map the world of NXT.
Again, I think they were starting to do that to the people writing into Cultaholic, but that's
like right there on the airport. You have a flight that says "flight to parts unknown" or some shit like that. Like you just throw a little Easter egg in there. Somebody's got to draw that.
They make NXT a World of Kingdom Hearts 4, but a secret boss is Roman Reigns.
Jeez.
He's like worse than Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Only if he's just like Sephiroth. I'm just gonna throw that out there because that would be freaking bad.
Dude, you think that would be freaking awesome? I'd be down for that, dude.
It would be. I'd still whoop his ass with Sora, but
why does it
acknowledge me and the fight starts?
Why does it take 3 years to beat this game?
I know. Look, to be fair, if you're the completionist like myself with games like that, it takes you about 3 years to find everything without a strategy guide. So it takes a while.
JC, I don't know if you ever played Final Fantasy 12, but there is a secret boss in there that you legitimately have to fight, whittle down his health, leave, and come back and do that for at least it took me like 2 weeks to finally finish.
Final Fantasy I've never got into Final Fantasy. Maybe it's just the turn-based part of it. I think what stood out with me, Kingdom Hearts, is more of an action thing. But
that's
me.
fair.
So
yeah.
But back to what happened this week. This was the first time in a while these two shows have gone head to head. And
Yep.
Tommy, you mentioned this on social media, how great this was.
Yes.
Did this kind of take you guys back to the Monday Night Wars?
Only in so much as the fact that you actually had to choose what to watch, and you didn't want to switch way or else you missed something. Okay, I can't believe I gotta keep saying this a million times. Of course, they're not on the exact same level, guys. We know this. AEW is still 5 or 4 years old, but at the same time, to be that young, and yes, they didn't get as high ratings, but they still got 600,000. On the same night, The Undertaker, John Cena, LA Knight, and Cody Rhodes were on NXT. If you can do almost over half of what they did, that's a W to me. I'm sorry.
And let's just say it, though. It wasn't NXT that beat AEW. It was like Raw Light. Okay?
Okay, you said it, I didn't, because I was thinking.
And again, if you loved it and you enjoyed them being on there, that's cool. Like we're saying, like
I did too. I wasn't being on there, but let's go.
But it's also like if this was just Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes and the normal NXT roster, which are great talent,
yeah, it would have been fun.
But the same thing, they're not beating Dynamite the way they did, and that's fine. But like, let's at least call it what it is. Like the fact that you had to get like Cena and Asuka and Undertaker and Paul Heyman. Although, okay, so this was the thing because kind of connected to this is
Jason.
It's Raw Light, yeah. Is
less filling tastes great. Yeah.
Tony Khan just apparently losing his mind on social media. I don't know. He did also tweet today that a 20-year record was broken, and that Tuesday night was the first time that both The Undertaker and John Cena were on a show that had under 1 million viewers. He tweeted that.
Wow.
And I was like,
good point.
I mean, he's not wrong, and I know some of the stuff he's tweeted is kind of in fun, but I'm also like, Tony, we get it. Like, cool. Like, promote your stuff. Like, stop worrying so much about them.
I mean, he might have been drinking whatever the hell it was with Cody and Jay.
I mean, I'm not entirely convinced he wasn't drinking with them that night.
Yeah.
But I also think, like, the tribalism on both sides is a mess, and I'm not denying that. But once someone said, why does Tony Khan have to push his show, push his shows the best so much? And my argument is, and I had to say this multiple times, is of course he believes his is the best. He has to. It's his company. If he doesn't believe he has the best company and the best roster, who else is going to believe that? Just like if Triple H and Shawn don't believe they have the best company, the best roster, their rosters aren't going to believe it.
Yeah,
it starts at the top.
Yeah,
and I don't mind him pushing his show. I do think he spends too much time taking shots at them, especially. And again, I know some
doing what Eric Bischoff did to WWE, basically.
And some people, that's what some people are saying is like this is starting to become like when WWE did dominate Nitro toward the end. But
I will give them that only if he does this. Jason.
Yeah,
Jason's
I mean,
right.
I'll say that I'll give them that only if this continues, like repeatedly. It's 1 week that I feel like he in a way he almost had to do it, because I feel like if he had said nothing, people would be giving him grief for not saying anything. I feel like if he didn't,
again promoting himself, or
I mean if he legitimately didn't take shots at them at all, people would say he was scared. No, like come on. People would say he was scared.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about the people that are just going to crap on him no matter what.
But they've been doing it anyway. So I feel like he was kind of like, let me give him a reason.
I see what you're saying, and again, like the stuff with Shawn and Hunter, I think is almost like in fun. Like I don't think it's too serious.
I say it all the time. I think Shawn and Hunter would have done this in the 90s if social media were around then.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And Jason,
I didn't even read that before I even said what I said.
Yeah,
his podcast is literally called 83 Weeks. You're completely right. He would have done it for that whole time when they were ahead.
For sure.
But it's not like, but okay, you want to know the real reason why this isn't the same? Tony Khan didn't have Tony Schiavone spoil the results from NXT the entire show.
No, that'd be kind of funny.
So I'm sorry. Until that happens, nope, not the same thing.
Oh, Carmelo Hayes is going to go over. That'll put butts in sheets.
And look, and you know why Tony Khan ain't doing that? He probably want to sign Carmelo Hayes somewhere down the road.
Yeah.
I
the
feel
age where
bad
you don't
about
want to
saying-
burn bridges, right? You know.
Hey, hell yeah.
I feel bad about saying this, but now it's like, oh, Von Wagner's going to be on your. Oh no, that really is a bad take. Oh,
Yeah.
no, sorry, Von.
A couple of the title changes though to come out of AEW from Title Tuesday. Hikaru Shida wins the women's championship, and Orange Cassidy reclaims the international championship. So let's do it, baby. Hashtag Orange Cassidy 1000.
And
He's
Adam
kind of
Copeland,
lazy. Do you think he has it to go 1,000 days after going like 300?
Why the fuck not? You know, I mean,
because he's lazy. I hope he can hold out that long.
So,
Well,
I even like where they asked him if he wanted the
and-
match. He's like,
but look,
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Think about it, Mike. You always want a lazy person to do a task for you because they will find the easiest way to do the most
You're
work.
not wrong.
So
You're not wrong. They will be the most efficient.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why he could make 1,000 days, because after he's done wrestling, he's gonna go take a nap.
But the thing is, his 300-day reign, he didn't pull a Roman Reigns. When was right now? When was the last time Roman had a match? It's been
I don't even
3
know.
months, 2.5 months at least.
It had to have been SummerSlam,
right?
Yeah.
Because I think that was the last time he was even on TV.
Yeah.
And not only that, not just necessarily a match, but a singles match for his title, because he's been in tag team matches since then.
No, that was SummerSlam because he faced Jay, and then Jimmy.
You're right.
Oh no, wait, he showed up the week after that because that's when Jay quit
But he didn't
everybody.
have a match.
But that was the last time Roman was on TV, and so yeah.
We'll also point out. I'm sorry, we'll quick also point out. The AEW Tag Team Championship change hands over the weekends with Ricky Starks and Big Bill winning it.
I was going to say that. Like,
that?
what's up with the tag teams this week? Like, they just
I don't know.
So I did hear that. I think Cash is injured. Maybe.
No. Okay.
So I heard that too, and then they were like, maybe not, but I don't know. So yeah.
No.
I
Okay.
heard that
So
too.
no, because I think Cash and Dax have to go on record saying we're not going anywhere because everyone said because everyone said that means that they're leaving to go join CM Punk.
No. It's also because he tweeted like it was a great run, top guys out, which is like his sign-off phrase, top guys out. And so people were like, "Oh, y'all are leaving." He's like, "No, that it was a good run. It was, but that's how I always sign off my tweets. Like, chill out."
People just want things to happen, all the time. But shout out to Ricky Starks. I mean, because hey, Texas original over there. I mean, he's from New Orleans, but I'm claiming him as Texas. So good for him, and I'm happy for Bill because he's really come a long way, got himself cleaned up, got his life really together, and I really do legitimately love this tag team of the two of them. It's so chaotic that it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Did you guys see their interview with Lexi Nair after Wrestle Dream?
No, I didn't.
No.
Okay, so it's either Wrestle Dream or Collision. I can't remember which one. But okay, so because Lexi and Cass, I call him Cass. Bill are engaged, so he kept checking her out.
Oh,
yeah, they're engaged. So the whole interview, he keeps like checking her out and everything. It's like, dude, we all know you're like. So that was funny. But then Ricky Starks signed off like this. He said, "Get ready, ladies, because you won't be first, but you will be next." And I was like, this. And I legitimately said the N-word. I was like, this N-word right here, boy.
Look, I am fully ready to sign a petition to have him replace one of the 4 pillars of AEW.
Look, everybody's been saying it between him and Swerve and Jay White. They actually have like 3 legit top contenders for MJF right now. Yeah. And I'm down to any one of those 3 wins because you got Jay White, you got Swerve who's been killing it lately, and Ricky who's been killing it. You can't tell me they're not going to push Swerve and Ricky to the moon when they just have feuds with Hangman and Bryan Danielson respectively. So
it'll be interesting to see how they book this going into Full Gear and beyond that too, as we loop around to the next.
Well, it seems like Full Gear is the Jay White match is what's been set up for.
Yeah, that's I just mean like after that.
No, I know what you mean, but like going into Full Gear, that seems to be the stuff. Yeah. Okay, I don't know if you saw, but after the thing with Max Caster from the week before, now Jay White was like, get 3 guys who can tolerate you, and we'll have a 4-on-4. And so Max Caster comes to offer his services, and Billy and Bowens were like, "Well, what are you doing?" He was like, "Oh, it's cool." It's like, plus I like when he plays hard to get.
Look, this is legitimately me. I'm like, Max, Bowens is already out. You can come out too, dude. It ain't that serious. Just say it, dude.
Didn't you already say it on TV once when some girl was hitting on him? He's like,
"Oh no, Bowens!
That was Bowens.
Okay.
Like I don't know if Max is or not. I'm just joking around. But I'm always like, dude, it ain't that serious.
Again,
just come out and say it.
Again, it's that weird trope that happens a lot in TV shows, where the actor who is actually gay is not as flamboyant, and then there's one who's not actually gay but plays it more flamboyant. I feel that's kind of like what Max is doing. Like, I don't mean as an insult or anything.
MJF, and that's the
well, you're
part.
not. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
And I kind of want to think it is another case of when the cameras are off, everyone's dying laughing. Like whenever MJF walks off camera, he has to like run so he doesn't laugh on.
Okay,
out loud.
And in all seriousness, for someone who kept kayfabe for like his first 3 years in the business, it is really weird that he's letting little moments out. Because there was also a picture on social media, like probably last week, of him and Statlander at the gym. And apparently they're both from like Long Island or Staten Island or whichever New York Island.
Well, I like Long Island, I think.
And apparently they're like actually friends and like work out together and stuff. But he's like, whatever, I guess I could tolerate her. So it's like he lets you in, but again, just not 100%. Like he'll keep it a little bit, but
yeah.
I feel like Chris Statlander, Ruby Soho, and Willow Nightingale are legitimately friends with everyone backstage.
Yeah.
It's like everyone else cannot get along, but dear God, if you mess with one of those three, the entire locker room is gonna whoop your ass.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
I mean, Ruby, I know coming in, she was like, remember, like for a while, she was like always trying to stop Eddie from like
beating up something,
getting to fight or hurting himself, and and then like I know all the women when she left WWE were so sad because they were just like
she just seems like a legit good person. Just awesome to be around. I'm like, cool.
Also, at the end of the buy-in. When Eddie Kingston had his match with Suzuki, and then RJ City and Renee Paquette are at the front, and Eddie comes back, and like he's messing with RJ City, and then because like the funny thing is in storyline, him and Renee had a little bit of heat because of the Moxley storyline, right? In storyline, of course, but then he messes with RJ, and then Renee turns around, he goes, and then he gives her the high five, and then he flicks off RJ City. And then he like fist bumped Taz and then hugged him.
Yeah. Dude, no. What I said, my favorite moment about the buy-in was the fact that after the match was over, Suzuki chopped Eddie, he chopped Suzuki, and they hugged it out. I was like, look, I said immediately, dude, the level of respect Suzuki must have for Eddie is insane.
Like most people handshake, a fist bump, no. All right, respect.
It's like, yeah. You're okay with me, man. Suzuki was like, I wish Suzuki was still together. I'd put you in.
Let's get the band back together.
Seriously.
All right. Well, let's move on to our 1 minute warning segment here. Mike, you're up first. You said you had a couple videos.
Yeah, let's see if I can make this work. I don't know. Right. We'll find out.
Let's pray.
And one of the clips is Countdown City Geeks, so I don't think we'll have any trouble there. The other one's just a tweet from Mission Pro, so I'm sure they're cool with us promoting their stuff.
Do you need to share your screen?
Yes.
All right.
So let's see. DLC YouTube.
We load it up.
Now we do.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So this was the interview Tommy and I did with Black Swan. And we had mentioned this on the show, and I think I shared the picture one week. But let's go through where talking about her casket match with JP Harlow and the item she talks about bringing forward. Well, hopefully that boulder will muffle any noises and we won't be able to hear.
You know what? Okay, now I'll be nice. I will be respectful to JP. I'll put googly eyes on the boulders. That's my respect. Sorry, respectfully.
Don't make me buy googly eyes. Don't make me buy googly eyes and bring them to the show because I'll do it. It's like, oh, he's buried. Everybody outside.
How would be so fun? Everybody just brings a rock with googly eyes on it and just say, "This is JP."
Look, we got a month and a half. We can get this going.
Yeah.
Little cowboy hats.
And little boots underneath.
Okay, so you see this, which this was
Okay.
great. We've talked about this. Me and
Yeah.
Tommy had so much fun that night. And then she released a promo that Mission Pro put out, getting ready for this match. And I'm going to go and share this.
I already know what you're talking about, and this was so great.
You there, Mike?
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, we
go.
were just hoping you weren't frozen. It's like, oh no!
Do you need to unshare and then reshare, or what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Oh, did it not show the? Okay, hold on.
No,
I forgot to share the other, so I probably do.
Yeah, you can only share like once at a time. So
Yeah.
So could y'all hear the audio?
No. Well, we heard the audio for the one for the interview. We haven't heard the audio.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me go back real quick.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
Can y'all see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So y'all saw the one from the interview, and then this was toward the end of her promo for the casket match with JP Harlow.
Yep.
Not enough for a tombstone, but with a rock. Just one rock. With your cowboy hat on it. So I have one question for you.
There is nothing I think I've ever been more prouder of to be a part of than for her to legitimately pull that out and use it in her promo for the match. And Ted, thank you. Because you made the graphics on that interview.
Yes.
Great editing.
That rock person. I remember you telling us, like, oh man. Like, and then when we saw it, I was like, yeah. Amazing.
Look, the fact that we've worked our way into the lore of Mission Pro, it just makes me proud.
I even tweeted from the WrestleCast after it came out. I was like, are we co-conspirators now?
I mean,
I'm more than okay with it.
I'm gonna say this. I could probably find a good rock. My son has a Woody toy there. I could probably borrow the hat, maybe get his boots off of that.
Yes, I mean, legitimately, I'm gonna try to find some. I'm gonna see if I can find
especially if that fucker's wearing a Texas jersey again, because it's pissed me off. But
of all the things, I mean, hopefully he'll wear his Astros since they're
he better be
doing pretty well now,
Rangers,
right?
We're the Rangers, yeah. So
but yeah, that is one of my proudest things I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, so
Oh man, I like. Look, I'm busy. I'm busy this weekend, but hopefully next week I can start going to like Hobby Lobby and like Michael's and start finding some stuff and like you said, Party City, find little hats and like, cause dude, oh man, if I can make this work, if I can find several and they're cheap, I might just buy them and just start handing them out to fans.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Bertie! Dude, if I can find them, don't worry, I got you.
Tommy, you got something this week?
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Are you ready? Set and go.
So, ladies and gentlemen, New Japan Destruction was this past Monday, and we have several new title changes. Grills of Destiny, Hikuleo and El Phantasmo won the Strong Openweight Championships. Tama Tonga won the Never Openweight Championship back. Actually, no, those are the two main titles that changed hands. Yeah, okay, that's those two. But Sonata defeated Evil. So, guys, we are all set for Wrestle Kingdom. It is former LIJ members meeting one-on-one in the main event of the Tokyo Dome. Sonata is defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Tetsuya Naito.
Oh, damn.
Sorry, he didn't get to beat Naito for the briefcase, and so it's God, the internet with Twitter, X, or Threads, Instagram, and Facebook would all set themselves on fire if that happened.
Is anyone here on Threads regularly?
No, but I actually want to start. I kind of want to start. I haven't yet.
When it first opened up, I tried it, but it didn't seem as set up. Like I kept seeing stuff from people I wasn't following. I was like, "Oh, this seems dumb."
Yeah, I might do it soon.
We'll see if it's changed in the month or two it's been out.
But so yeah, that's some. It's pretty cool that it's all set now. Also, just 5 guys are 5 again because after Kanemaru betrayed the group and left, they added Yuya Imura, Mike, who was just here.
That. Yeah.
He's back as what was his nickname? Firestorm or something like that. Hold on.
Yeah, because they had, I saw this clip. And they're like fire. I think you're right. Firestorm. They're like,
oh no, Heatstorm.
Heatstorm. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Is that part of the famous Storm family?" And then they were like,
and Lance is probably like, "Sure."
The Storm family, the Cage family, the Page family.
Yeah,
just a whole bunch of different wrestling families.
I mean,
Wrestling has more than one
royal family. Yeah.
For my moment of warning this week, this actually comes courtesy of something that my wife Tina sent us. And I just have to say, this is pretty freaking cool. And all I need to do is just share this.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Adam Copeland, this kind of is a reply to a tweet from Soraya. It says, you know, it was really cool yesterday was before the show, I was standing in the ring and I saw Edge at Edge Radar on one side and Bryan Danielson on the other. And I was like, holy shit, none of us thought we would wrestle again. I felt very grateful, very cool moment. And Adam Copeland shared the picture and said, look at us, moral of the story, fight for it. There's nothing more inspiring than this. This is pretty amazing stuff. I think every single one of these characters, I believe Soraya had one too, had a retirement speech in a WWE ring. I don't recall if Paige did, but it was practically out there. But they're back on their feet. They're wrestling again, whether it's WWE or not. I'm just happy to see them still doing what they love and still enjoying it and still being healthy. And it's pretty awesome to see. So I think one person we can all thank for this is DDP Yoga, because it's just saving lives. So.
I mean, I just thank DDP for a lot of things. So yeah. So.
Yeah.
But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like that's another cool thing that I think people keep forgetting about like AEW. It's a lot of these guys and girls getting to do what they want towards the end of their career, like Sting. You know, who like he said he was done a few years back, but then he meets a guy like Darby Allin and it's like, oh no, I can do this for a couple more years, and then makes me feel bad because I'm half his age and can't do half the shit he does. So
yeah, like again, when you talk about that, like if I were to tell like 1992 WCW wrestling fan Mike that like, hey, this guy who's really awesome, in like 20, 30 years, he's still going to be wrestling, but mainly just jumping off of things kind of high. I'd be like, what?
Without a memory foam mattress in it?
Right.
No. It's taking it back to
I'd be like, oh,
yeah,
that's crazy, but like he is, and it's hilarious, and it's great.
Yeah.
And but like back to your 1 minute warning, dude, that is so incredibly awesome.
It's a great moment
to see them all again. I mean, Edge coming back at the Rumble again is to me the best comeback ever for wrestler. Because that emotion, like you show me the clip right now and I'll get tears in my eyes. Like it never fails to bring me tears, especially when you see his face come out of the smoke.
Yeah.
The fact that we've got to see all these matches that Bryan Danielson has had in AEW. Again, to that person who's like, he's only picking dream matches. Yes, thank you. They have been amazing.
So what?
Kenny Omega, Adam Page, Okada, Swerve Strickland,
Zack Sabre Jr.
Zack
Jesus
Sabre
Christ.
Jr. Like, just yes, keep it up. He says he's only got a year of regular wrestling left. Okay, then get as many of these damn matches in as we can. And
the people who complain about that, then you just ignored the 20 plus years of storyline wrestling he did before this, and you're just complaining about it now. Okay, congratulations, you're a complete and total jerk.
Everything he built up to make himself considered the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah, like and I'm talking before, and I'm thinking before ROH, like on the Indies, then the ROH, then the WWE, and look, and as much as we can crap on WWE, he created some great stories there too. He really did.
Let's be honest here. If we don't, people forget this. People were crowning him the best in the world long before CM Punk dropped the pipe bomb and started calling himself that.
No.
So
I
this.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing him at ACW, booked him for like a last minute show as just a random fatal 4-way, and really chanting "best in the world" for that. So
I still to this day. Is it with the test of strength with Skylar Skelly?
Yeah.
Like, oh no, just kidding.
Yeah.
So the fact that and the fact that like you said, the fact that those three, I'm sorry, in the ring they're healthy and they're again and like, hey, ending the story on their terms. Hey, Sean, it's just great to see. Brian Danielson said, "Well, my daughter, I promised her I'd stop wrestling on a regular when she turns this age, and now he's doing it because that's a promise he made to his
Turned his
kid."
daughter into a heel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was hilarious. And Saraya, maybe she,
Think
just
about the
wanted to,
moment she got
All right.
at All In.
yeah.
I'm sorry. His daughter's gonna
Well-
show up and attack Christian Cage's daughter or some shit like that, just for the hell of it.
But-
Just start booking that shit.
Okay, it's only 2 weeks old, and the gold we're getting out of Christian and Edge in this
Bruh.
reunion, like Christian is the best character of his career, bar
Yes.
none.
Yes.
Easy.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
And so to get that with Edge at this point, with Adam Copeland, like, yes, please. Again,
The go F yourself alone cemented him as a heel.
oh my God.
Ever. But it's not even that, because Christian's another guy who was told he couldn't wrestle anymore,
Yeah.
and then he gets the James Bond villain turtleneck, and then runs down everyone's dead fathers to the point where Nyla Rose was scared when he smiled at her. He's like, "I had to go call my dad real quick. Bye, guys." There's a picture of him taking a picture with a fan, this little girl, and he smiles at first, but then she has a toy AEW belt. He has the TNT Championship. He takes both. He sneers down at her and shakes her dad's hand. And I just thought to myself, "Hug your father, little girl."
Yeah.
That may have been the handshake of.
That again, we talked about it last week, but the fact that they went off the 0 hour air after doing the thing for Inoki with that look at Christian right before, I was like, damn.
He's so evil right now. That's why MJF had to go face, because apparently they say, "Well, Christian's gonna be the Thanos
heel.
of this universe
Yeah.
right now." So,
Seriously, you're not wrong.
It's like, damn it, MJF, give someone else a chance to be hated, So yeah.
he's like, Christian probably went to him, "Dude, I could look, just let me try. Can I try?" And MJF's like, "Oh, okay. I can't say no to you, Christian."
Well, thank you everybody for joining us on this week's episode. Next week we will be back to take a look at NPW and RCW and preview Impact Bound for Glory, which is stacking up pretty nicely.
We might have to talk about the Fallout show too, because that looks stacked as hell.
Yeah.
Too, dude.
Let's just kind of remind everybody what's happening here. Alex Shelley versus Josh Alexander.
Whew.
Chris Sabin versus Kenta. Trinity versus Mickey James. Will Ospreay versus Mike Bailey.
I totally forgot that was happening.
Just to name a few. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lord knows what else Impact may add to this. This is Impact's biggest show of the year, and they're stacking it pretty nicely. So can't wait to see it.
Burnsy, I forgot all about this. Sabotage has a show in Buddha on Saturday.
This coming weekend? Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
So if you got time, you got something to do this weekend, go check it out for sure. So thank you everybody for joining us as always. We'll be back next week to talk about everything we just talked about. So once again, I'm your host JC. We got over here, we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And go Astros. Beat the Rangers. I go crap.
Go Stros.
Go Stros.
Go Stros.
And as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are
fake.
fake.
Reach for the sky, boy.
Boom. Adios, Gunther.
See you next week.